Today, we are challenging everything that you know about marketing. If you're still handing out paper business cards, then you, my friend, are behind the times. My guest today argues that your book is your most powerful brand asset. She is a powerhouse entrepreneur. She is a mom of three, a 5-time published author. 5 times. That's crazy. And she is the founder of Ready Writer Services. She has mastered the art of turning story into a platform. And from interior design to branding to Spanish translation, she helps experts take their message beyond the book. So please welcome creative coach, publishing strategist, and host of the Day One podcast, Giselle Quintanilla. Welcome, Giselle, to the podcast.
So much for having me, and I have no idea. It's an honor to be here with you.
Oh my gosh!
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I am so excited to talk to you today because I know publishers, I know authors, I know audiobook creators. So this is a space where I've only kind of stepped my toes into. I don't know too much about, but so I'm excited to get into why and all the things. So speaking of why, so many, and we're just going to kind of get it right into it, but so many entrepreneurs think that their book is just a product to sell for like $20 on Amazon.
Right.
Why should entrepreneurs shift their mindset from just product to high value business card?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's get right into it then, Nell. So, and that's fair. It's fair to say, a lot of entrepreneurs still don't have books, actually. But the ones who do, it's fair to say, they treat it as it's a product, right? Which is it's not wrong. It's not incorrect. It's just incomplete. And so, they are using it when they go out to events and putting it on the table or, talking to people about it. And so you get these sales. But the biggest error I see is in just doing that and just, hey, here is this other thing that I have, like an extension of who they are. And again, not incorrect, but it is incomplete. And I think that we miss the mark as entrepreneurs when we don't see it as something that offers value and credibility, because everybody can't get all of you when they're with you, right? And then there are people who hear you and they might hear you for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Somebody might listen to this, right? And say, okay, well, Giselle sounds like she knows what she's talking about. But if I say, I wrote a book about how to develop a manuscript writing guide. If I offer this book and I say, I want to give you this book right here, because this book is everything that I did wrong when I published my book, right? It's not everything it's not the things I did right. It's the things I did wrong. I don't want you to do those things. And if I give you my book and I'm like, listen, I just want to give you this. You don't know me from Adam. You don't know if I actually have ever published a book in my life. You don't know if I did help, almost 100 people with their books, or that I've done. You don't know anything about me except what you see maybe on social media, right? Or you look at my website. But when you have a book and you lead with the book, then you start seeing that it's written, right? It is published. I'm like, okay, this girl, she might actually know. Like, she's giving me these tips. Let me go ahead and go over here and research what she's saying in this book. Let me see what she's talking about. She knows what she's talking about just a little bit. So,
yeah.
Right? And so you start leading in whatever industry you're in. And it's so important. And when I say book, it can be a physical book. It can be an ebook, right? But when you have something that you have brought on, nuggets that you have from experience, from training, from what you do in life, what you've learned, when you start putting those things together and then you start sharing it to other people, it's like, oh, I worked one time with a real estate investor. And she's phenomenal. And so, she's like, so I want to translate this book into Spanish. Somebody did it. They messed it all up. And I'm like, okay, no worries, right? I didn't know her. She was a total stranger. And I'm like, sure, I'll do it. And I'm reading what she's writing. And I'm like, oh, this is really good. This lady knows what she's talking about. And so I started learning from her different things
Hmm.
about real estate, but it's because of the book the stuff she wanted to share that she maybe charged for, maybe didn't. Maybe it was like $5.99 for the book. Who knows, right? But it's
Right.
not about what you get from the book. You're never going to become a millionaire from a book. You're just not going to
Yeah.
do it, right? And that's why you don't treat it like a product. You treat it like a business card, and you give that to somebody, and now they, wait a minute, here's your contact information because I liked what you said on page 10. Let me go ahead and call them because they know what they're talking about, right? I need to do business with you, or I need you to coach me, I need you to teach me, I need you to walk me through XYZ. That's why it's a business card, because it gives you authority and credibility.
Oh, that is so well said. And you touched on so many points in there. And yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it's very similar to the way that I try to instill in people about YouTube. And YouTube, I mean, video is the next, I always say this, video is the next best thing to being in person. And if you want to have a conversation with someone who doesn't know you, one of the easiest ways to get in front of them is with a video. And this is the exact same concept, but with a book and using it as the business card. And it's another way for people to connect with you and get to know you. Yes. And like you said, yeah, she does know what she's talking about. So, yeah, that's so cool and so well said. And you did mention, I wanted to talk about credibility and how having a published book changes the way that a potential client might see you. So, and you mentioned it also, social media. I mean, here's the thing. We can try to get to know somebody from social media pages, but we can post whatever we want on social media. I could be telling you that I am some powerhouse male figure that's sitting in a beautiful estate at the top of a mountain in Colorado. You don't know that. You don't know who I am. Your book is a tangible item that has words that have been written by you. Mostly. We'll get to that later on down in the podcast. But I mean, what other benefits are there to having a physical copy of a book versus just a website or a social media profile for a potential client?
Yeah, you touched on such a good point about social media, and you can do say whatever, right? And let's be honest, like the social media, you have to have such a great discernment when you're working
Yeah.
with somebody and all you're going off of is their website, which can be created by anybody. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And social media, which can also be, and in this AI world, Lord help us.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't know, right? When you talk about a book that has to be written, it has to go through a process with regard to, getting it registered, right? And there's different things. I look at the inside of a book, and to me, it's almost like looking at a dollar bill, right? And you know how like $100 bill, and you're like, you pull it up and you kind of see, okay, does it have the little line or whatever? Is the little shadow up in I don't know.
Yes.
Like you're like, is this real? So with the book, it's the same thing almost in that, it has to be, there's things that have to be with it, the copyright, the registry, the ISBN number, right? There's things in there. And then you're reading and you can fact check. You can absolutely fact check a book because it's there. It's tangible. You have it
Yeah.
in your hand. So you can literally see, okay, is what they're saying legit? Is that really what they
So
and do
true.
they live it, right? Do they live it? If everything you see on social media, everything you see in their website, everything you see in their books, and then if you do get a chance to see the person at a conference or at an event or something, is that who they are all across the board, right? And then interacting with them, is there a way to communicate with them and how their contact information. I mean, you have it there. It's tangible and it
Yeah.
builds trust, right? And so people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So you get to know them. You determine if you like them by what you see, but then do you trust them by what you read?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really, really good point. And trust, I mean, we all know the saying, people do business with people that they like, know, and trust. And that's absolutely, it's not even huge. It's essential for you for business. So thank you for mentioning that. The business card purpose, we've touched on that, but books go so much further beyond even just being a business card. I mean, it's evergreen content, and there are so many ways to repurpose it into marketing for your brand as well. So what are maybe 3 ways that an entrepreneur can repurpose their book content into full marketing, whether that be podcasts or workshops or blogs or anything?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. So you can do, so first of all, one of my favorites is quotes. I love quotes. I'm a big quotes girl.
Yes, that's good.
So anything that's quotable, I'm like, oh, that's mine. I'm going to use it. I love that. So, right, you grab quotes from your book and literally just post it, on social media, or you send it out, however you do your marketing channels that you use. But you can use quotes from your book and then put there your name, right, and the title of the book. You can grab sections. Last year, so in 2024, I launched The Pain Plan. That's my 5th book. And
nice.
The Pain Plan is my story of separation and divorce, and going into now, post-divorce, and that whole process that I went through, and things that I learned on how to deal with triggers and emotional trauma, and then while having kids and while running a business, all the things, right? So that book, when I launched it, afterwards, I took it, and I think it was 12 straight weeks, I went live and I just read a chapter, and I read the chapter and I talked about it. I read the chapter and I talked about where I was in my mindset at that moment, what I was thinking about, what was happening outside in my environment while I was going through it. And so it was great. It was awesome to go and just see how many people could resonate. Right? Because that's what you want. That's what it is. In business, we want to get an audience that relates. We want to relate to our audience, because that's who we're serving. We're serving the people we used to be. Who we're serving. Yeah. So that's why for me, it was great. So I went live every week with a chapter and I talked about it. You can do that.
So smart.
Yeah. You can make it into podcasts. You can promote it for workshops, use it to promote workshops. You can do that as well. I mean, there's so many things. To your point now, you can do so many things with the written content to put it into other avenues, right? To go on podcasts and just talk about that subject, whatever that subject matter is for your book. And there's just so many. It's literally reels. You can create reels off of that, but there's so many things you can do.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm like the queen of repurposing. I can't tell you how many times I've written a blog for my website and I'm like, okay, it's almost a competition with myself to see how many times I can repurpose one piece of content. I don't remember what my threshold or my last most repurposed content piece was, but I want to get up to 20 times. There are so many different ways that you could repurpose something.
And you give it time now. You do it, right? And then you just give it some time, and then you bring it up again, and it's brand new. I tell clients all the time, I'm like, listen, it doesn't matter how long ago you launched your book, relaunch that thing. Because it'll be like, oh, we didn't know you had a book, and then all of a sudden you're and that book is from 2015. I don't know, but
100%.
But you should do it. You can always launch a book multiple times. And people think that once a book is done. Absolutely not. Get that thing back out there. Talk about it again. It's your subject. It's what you wrote about. It could be your life. It could be your business. Whatever it's about. But bring it back up and reuse it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so true. And it's important to know too that the audience that maybe saw all of the posts and all of the content related to the book the first time it was launched is not going to be the same audience the second time you launch it, or the third or fourth time.
Yep. And that's
Yeah.
why you do it. That's why, because your network is always growing, right? It should be all your audience
Mhm.
should always be growing. So there's people right now. So I'm actually in that's where I am right now, is relaunching a few things in my business because my audience has grown so much. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Now it's time to bring it back up. So yeah, absolutely. I'm a fan of the reuse and recycle.
That's so freaking smart. Okay. I want to talk about, okay, so pretty much every entrepreneur, I've seen all the reels out there, like I just shared one with my husband the other day that was like a guy sitting there. He's like, POV, you are my spouse at home with me as a business owner. And he's like, where is my coffee? Will you come in here and help me? This printer, and complaining about all the things. And like, did you see my calendar? Did you see? I have no time. I have zero time. So, this is a complaint or something that resonates. And I got so many messages because people are like, that's me. That's my team. That's, no entrepreneur ever has, quote, the time, unquote. So what do you say to entrepreneurs that are like, have you seen my calendar? I don't have time to write a book. What do you say to those entrepreneurs, and how can you help them understand that, yes, a book is possible for you?
Oh my gosh, I would say it. I think that we have to, as entrepreneurs, we forget that we have the power to make time. Right? Like even myself, when I think about it, I was telling somebody earlier this morning, I was talking to her, she's fairly new in entrepreneurship. And so I always love that because I'm like, here are all the mistakes I made in years 1 through
Right.
3. So, but I was telling her, I'm like, I had to learn to be disciplined in how I manage my time and what was aligned with where I was going. Right? What is aligned with it? Because you're absolutely right. When you become an entrepreneur, you're working from home, right? And so in the beginning, I was like, I would do stuff, and then I would do laundry. I would do stuff, then I would go do dishes. I would do stuff, then it was like chaos. So weird.
Sounds familiar.
Right. And I had to be like, wait, this is not productive. This is not it's not smart, it's not wise, and it's backing me up. So I really had to time block. I'm a big fan of time block. Time blocking is my
Yes.
jam. Let me tell you.
Virtual high five.
Yes, because I can't do it if I don't time block. So I was telling her earlier, I'm like, I don't do anything outside of times of 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. That's where I go. And then I just move on to the next thing. And that's how I stay productive. So this person I was talking to is a coaching client because I coach people to write their manuscripts. And she's very busy. Like she had me almost in circles on our call. I was like, wait a minute. So, but I deal with busy people all the time. And what I say is you have to find those pockets of time where you can sit, and it's just literally 2 to 3 hours. I never ask for more than that. So when I'm coaching somebody, I say, I don't want you writing every day. And that's the problem. We think that we got to do this every day. Absolutely not. I don't want you to write every day because you have to run a business and you have a family and you have other stuff, right? I do too. I do ministry as well. So I don't even write every day. So I want people to write, if you're going to be productive with it, 3 to 4 days. If you can do 3 days is great. If you could do 4, awesome. If you can't, 3 days is great. 2 to 3 hours. That is it. So in a whole week, you're looking at 6 hours. If you can do anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of writing, just time block it. And
Yeah.
and that's all you're doing. And you're just putting it away, and then you handle business. There's always a system now, right? Even with us in our business, there's a system, right? How you did this podcast, like how you do your podcast, there's a system, right? I got this cool little text saying, hey, you're going to see Nell in a minute, right? I got an email, I'm like, hey, you're going to see Nell. I'm like excited. I've built up like, okay, I'm going to go see Nell now,
Yeah.
right?
Awesome.
So there's systems in place, and that's what we have to do. So if you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a book, you need a book. Number one, you absolutely have to have it. That's a non-negotiable. But the number two is it doesn't have to be a full paperback. I didn't start with a full paperback. My first book was actually an ebook. My first book is like 36 pages. Okay, everybody, like don't
That
overthink
makes me
it.
feel so much better.
Yeah, because you're like, "Wait, I need a 200-page book." No, you don't, because nobody's going to read it. I'm just going to tell you. Let's just speak the truth right now. So, okay, I'm the only person
freaking
who's
love
reading
that.
200-page books.
That's amazing.
No, but you do it doesn't have to be it was an ebook, and it was 36 pages, I promise you, and people read it and they were like, "Oh my," because it's about purpose. It's called Armed and Purposed. So it's about purpose and discovering your purpose. And I'm big on that, because if you are frustrated, if you are, miserable in life, you're probably not operating your purpose. You're probably not happy because you're not doing the thing that you love, that you were created to do. So I wrote this book. It's an ebook, 36 pages, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's amazing. This is a great book." And it was what I went through and what I had to discover. But it helped them, and it wasn't anything crazy. So I don't want entrepreneurs to overthink it, right? We are creatives, and creatives, we tend to, right? We're all over the place.
Say no more.
Right?
Or say less, as the kids say.
Say less. Don't overthink it. Literally just time block. Write what you know. You probably already have stuff anyway. If you do workshops, you got content, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
If you teach courses, you have content. If you have done videos, you have content. Transcripts.
Yes.
That's your content. Don't overthink it. You already have the stuff. Put it in there, type it all out, put it in a Word doc, right? You can always talk to me about it. I love books. But yeah, and then you get a nice cover. Please, please, please. I cannot say this enough. I always say, when people say don't judge a book by its cover, that's just for people. That's not talking about books, okay? Actual books are judged 100% by their cover.
True.
Book, and it's really, let's not overthink it. Get your book done.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. I love this. Yes, 100%. I agree with the cover thing. I mean, again, going back to the YouTube thing, a thumbnail is why people click on videos. So, I mean, that is ultimately the book cover. And yes, okay, let's just keep the don't judge a book by its cover for people. We can do that all day, but not with the book. So, I mean, it really just goes to show, I think there was a brand or winery, I think it was, I don't know. Years ago, I was out in California and we were going to different wineries, and this particular winery was talking about how this one wine was their bestseller because the label was the best one. And that's why. So people do judge books by covers all
drawn
throughout.
by aesthetic, right? It's aesthetics. Yeah. They're drawn by it. So you want a nice looking cover. You don't want something that's like, what is this? Or it's basic. You just something nice. So that's all.
For sure. So, there's been this rise of self-publishing going on in the industry. And while I will admit and I've self-published a book, there are pros to it and there are definitely cons to it. So, but how do you think self-publishing affects credibility and authority versus a professionally published book?
Yeah. So I actually don't think it affects it. I think that I really don't. The difference between traditional publishing, right, which is going to a publisher, traditional publishing, and self-pub is really your preference and your time. Your preference, your time, your budget. Because if you're going to a traditional publisher, then they are paying you to publish you. Right? They're paying you. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. You're just giving up your rights. I want everybody to understand that. Like, people don't realize, right? Traditional publishers, they're giving you a contract. They're saying, hey, we love your material. This is a genre we're accepting. We do the marketing behind it, so we know we're going to get money.
Yeah.
Right? So here, we're going to pay you whatever, $10,000, whatever it is, right? And on top of that, we may want you to do 2 more books. That's awesome. That is not a bad thing. Right?
Doesn't sound bad at all.
Right. The only caveat is you're giving up your rights. So whatever vision you had for your book may not happen, right? Whatever thing you think, it may not happen. Now, I have clients who that's what they wanted to do, and I am not mad at it. Do what you got to do. And then there's self-pub. And self-pub is really, you want to keep your own rights. You have the time, right? And so you're going to go ahead and you're going to put that book through. You're going to have the marketing dollars, which is why budgeting is so important. So you're going to have the marketing dollars so that you can go ahead and put this book out. And usually I say, if you have a plan and you have a budget, you can do it and do well. I have clients on both sides. I have clients who, I have one in particular. She's a very well-established, well-known in the U.S., right, in her business of what she does with credit. And she did her book. She's self-published. Then I have another client who's traditional, also doing well. It's really a matter of preference, right? Your network, who you can go to, and if you want to keep your rights because there's other things that you want to do with the book. And so all those things come into play, and it just depends. It's a matter of what your preference is and what your budget is, because both are really, really good and both establish credibility. The one thing, what I would advise people to be careful of is vanity publishers. And that's the difference. So vanity publishers are the people you're paying for them to publish you. And that's where for a long time people were getting scammed. That's why it's like, what do I do? I don't want to self-publish. But self-publish just means you're doing it yourself. You are your own publisher. That's what that means, right? Yeah. Whereas vanity publishing, people were paying different companies so that, and they were paying them like $5,000, right? I know somebody who paid thousands of dollars and the product wasn't what they wanted. And the book cover was a mess. Like they just didn't get it. And the people just took their money. So that's why I say vanity publishers is different. That's something different you have to be careful of. But a lot of people are doing traditional. A lot of people are doing more self-published because of just the convenience of being able to have control over their own work.
That's huge. And the cost to losing your rights behind your work is enormous too. Yeah. And I mean, it's like any type of art or music or filmmaking, anything like that. I mean, it's really, really important. And I thank you for explaining the vanity publisher. I had never heard that term before, and I didn't know that paying a publisher, that's an easy way to get scammed. I mean, I see it now. I didn't know that. So thank you for explaining that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always educate now, because what I do as a publishing strategist, right, is I help people self-publish. So the interior of a book matters to me. So that's really important, because that's where the business part comes in. It's not just about the content. It's about then how can people get to you, because they're going to want to know you after the content, right? So I do all those things. But when it comes to publishing, I educate my clients. You can go the traditional route. You don't necessarily need a book agent. I do have clients who use book agents, but you don't need one. You can look for a traditional publisher that's reputable. That's the most important part, a reputable traditional publisher. But then if they want to self-publish, then I do that, because it is time consuming and the marketing and all the things. So I help them with that part. And everything is theirs. I am not a publisher. I do not want anybody's rights. I want people to keep their rights. But I help them with the work part, because it can get a little, gray and hairy. They're like, I don't know what to do here. So I just walk them through that. That's what I do.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, I wanted to touch on this subject because I feel like in this day and age of AI and technology, we have to talk about it. And okay, first of all, let me get something off of my chest. I've seen so much AI slop when it comes to books, and people are like, on Instagram, there are these ads. You can write a book in 90 seconds and it's all AI driven and all the things. So the question, I'm trying to structure the question. How do you use AI? How do you encourage people to use AI, or don't you, in the book writing and publishing process?
I'm cracking up because I literally get this all the time. And I just did a TikTok about the AI.
Oh,
it's because I get it all the time, right? And again, sure. We live right now in an AI world. That's where we live. And I tell people, I'm like, I am not against AI. First of all, let me say that. I'm not against AI. I am always going to be pro innovation and anything that can fuel your creativity, right? But doesn't create for you. I think that's the difference. So you have to be able to understand that it should fuel your creativity. It should spark it, but it shouldn't be doing it for you. And that's the part where we kind of get lost in the sauce. So I always encourage people to use it for research, right? If you're writing about something, if you want to make sure, I have a couple of ghostwriting clients right now, and I use AI to research the topics that they want to talk about. And so that's important, right? So you research, and then you so fact check some stuff, right? And then I also use it for rewording stuff. Sometimes I get things and I'm writing it and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I feel like I could do better there. I'm just thinking, like, how could that sound? So I might say, hey, chat, what do you think of this? How might I make it maybe sound a little bit smoother, right? A little bit. And, he does a great job of encouraging me. So I love that already, right? Tell me I'm the best and I'm the greatest. Okay.
I love that.
So chat will not go away because I love that he builds me up. But also, he'll say, hey, how about, this, right? And I'm like, actually, I do like how that sounds. So titles is a great example. I had a client who was like, I don't know what to title my book. Now, knowing the concept, what the book is about, understanding the audience, because it's for young adults, a younger generation. I'm like, okay. So I plug it into chat. Hey, chat, this is what I have for my client. What do you think of some title ideas? He lists a whole bunch of things. And what I do is I'm like, I don't like that word in that one, but I do like this and this one. And I just start mixing it around. Like literally, that's what I do. Right. So I think it's a great brainstorming tool.
Yes. And that's what amazing.
It's a brainstorming tool. So when you start treating it like it's your ghostwriter, that's a problem. That should not be your ghostwriter, okay? But when you're like, hey, give me ideas for this, and now you are, we get lazy. Otherwise, Nell, we get lazy, right? Yeah. And we were created to create. And entrepreneurs are the biggest creators. And so now we want to give our creativity to something else, and for it to do it, that's not safe.
That's scary.
It's scary and it's unwise because I was just reading not too long ago an article of copyright legal issues going on right now because people used chat to write their entire books and did not check to see if it's original, to see if it was found somewhere else. You wanted chat to write your book and now you're in a legal copyright situation.
Oh man, all the copyright lawyers out there right now are going, and they're doing like the thing from the guy that the guy on The Simpsons does. They're loving life right now.
I did, and I was reading, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And this is why, right? You have to use things responsibly. Any tool that's out there should be used responsibly. And when it comes to writing, right? Because I don't know about you, but I was very careful in school never to be dinged for plagiarism. Writing my essays,
right?
But you were in school; you weren't going to go to jail. Right, you weren't gonna get fined. You're in
maybe
school.
You'd go to detention. I don't know.
Detention, right? Get your parents on the phone, and that's like the worst of it. So
still embarrassing,
right? But now you're a full blown adult. You know better. Repercussions are a little harsher, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. I am pro AI, but using it responsibly for the tool that it is.
Yes. That's such good information. Anyone listening or watching who is using AI right now to do all of your writing for you, this is for you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So before we wrap up, I want you to talk a little bit about your podcast, because I love that you, as an author, as a publishing strategist, I love that you do all of that with the words, but I feel like with the podcast, you're bringing words to life. So tell us about your podcast. What do you do? Like, what's the format? How do you serve people and all the things?
Absolutely. So the day one podcast, day one was the reason I created it is because I thought about my day one. I thought about how I stepped, and I said earlier, I'm big on purpose, right? I think that when people don't know their purpose and they don't operate in it, that's why they're miserable. That's why they're frustrated. They're not happy with their families, with themselves. It just creates a lot of anger and chaos and resentment. And so for me, understanding why you were created is one of the most important things you could ever do in life. So once I understood why I was created and my purpose, that day, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. And my life changed, right? And I just got so excited and I started operating in my element. And there are other people, I'm talking about entrepreneurship specifically, but there are other people who experience the same thing. Now I'm sure even for you, the day that you decided I'm going to do this podcast, right? I'm going to work in this business. I'm going to do media. I'm going to, whatever it is, your entrepreneurial road, the day you decided to say yes, a few things happened. One, your life changed, right?
Yeah.
Two, you probably questioned yourself a million times because that happens, right? And then three, you started seeing things that would just affirm and be like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. This is my why. This is why I am, a podcaster. This is why I work with entrepreneurs. This is why I wrote the book. This is why I did the class, whatever. And so I like doing that. And I have guests who come on and talk about their story, their day one story. What was that day that you decided you were going to say yes and step into what you were created to do? And it's for women. Sorry, fellas. It's for women. But
and they got their own stuff. It's fine.
Right. You'll be good. But it's really to encourage, because this entrepreneurial journey, I know I don't have to tell you, I'm preaching to the choir, but it's not for the faint of heart. It is not. Like, you have to be built different. You have to have thick skin. You have to, encourage yourself when everything looks like what is happening, right? Everything's falling apart around you. And you're like, should I still be doing this? I think I'm going to quit. I've quit at least 7 times since I started. So
oh my gosh.
You want to quit all the time. And so the podcast, my heart was really for women to come in and say, look, this is what I went through. This is how I overcame. And yeah, I'm still doing this business. And there are ebbs and flows, but we press through. And how do we press through? How do we stay consistent? Because consistency is the key in entrepreneurship. In those days where you want to quit, you stay consistent. And that's really what it was. So I love that podcast. I love that I get to hear the stories. I don't love it because it's mine. I love it because I get to have people on and I get to listen and I learn and I take notes, right? And so so I absolutely love being able to share those stories.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, I've heard, and I say this all the time, I repeat it all the time. If you're not a real entrepreneur unless you want to at least once a week quit and work at McDonald's.
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. I could flip a mean burger. Like, it's just, what do you want me to do? Mop the floors? Because
my gosh.
You're absolutely right. And but we need that, right? We need that space of hearing other people. That's why I love podcasting. To me, well, it is. So podcasting is like the audio version of a book, right? Like, I love stories. For me, books are everything because I love the stories. And so with podcasting, now you're just listening to stories.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's so, so true. And yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, I've learned so much from you today. I hope that everyone listening and watching also has, how could you get through this episode and not? But Giselle, you have provided some amazing value and information for everyone, and I can't thank you enough. But tell us where people can find you, how can they connect with you, all the things.
I am very, very findable in, that's a word, by the way. I'm very findable on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Honestly, if you type in my name, there aren't many. There are not many. Okay, so it's Giselle Quintanilla, or if you want to look for the handle, it's GISI_QUIN.
Got it.
GISI. No, it's just GISIQUIN. That's what it is. Oh, I don't even know my own handle. Type the name in, okay? I'm telling you, there's nobody else.
Yes.
You will
Yes.
find me. Social media is the best way, honestly.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll make sure we have all of that information in the show notes and the description. So make sure you check that out and go follow Giselle and go connect with her on social media and read all 5 of her books. So, and listen to her podcast. So, yeah, like I mentioned, we'll have all of that information attached to this episode. And so, Giselle, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you and your time.
Thank you, Nell. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for this space. I love it.
Oh, thank you. And for everyone out there listening, if you're listening on your favorite audio platform, please like this episode. I don't know. You can't like the episode. You can subscribe to it. You can follow. You can download the episodes. Of course, you can leave a review as well. That's how we grow. And if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend, because undoubtedly you know someone that needs to hear this message as well. So thank you to all of you for being here. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.